I'm Teresa Keller. Welcome to the 2020 Meet the Candidates virtual forum for Damascus Mayor, Damascus Town Council, and the special election race. The election is scheduled for November the 3rd. This forum is organized by the League of Women Voters, which is a nonpartisan group. We don't endorse any candidates. We don't express any views of a political party. But the purpose of the League is just to encourage voters to participate in the political process and to get more people to vote. We appreciate those who are participating tonight, and we appreciate the information that most of the candidates filled out and is posted on the vote411.org website. We encourage you to go to that website, which is a League of Women Voters website. If you put in your address, you can bring up the candidates and see the information that they answered. There is all kinds of other information there, but vote411.org will give you more information and the answers to more questions that we won't be asking tonight. But for those of you who did make that effort to fill that out and communicate with the voters, we're grateful, and we look forward to hearing more about all of your policies and priorities tonight. We have questions from voters. There was an article in the Bristol paper today. It generated quite a bit of interest, and we got some questions from a variety of different citizens that we'll be sharing with you. There are several categories tonight. We have the category for mayor, and we have two candidates for that one seat as mayor. The candidates are Katie Lamb and Jack McCready. The second category is for general town council seats. There are 4 candidates for 3 seats. Susan Coleman, Beatty Jackson, Larry Riddle are with us tonight. Also on the ballot, Tommy Hayes, who is an incumbent. Then there is a Damascus special election, 6 candidates competing for 1 open seat. The 2 candidates with us tonight, Shannon Barrett and Lindsay Fleming. Also on the ballot, Tony Doss, Charles Fields, Jim Harrison, and Whitney Peters. Perhaps some of you in the audience have submitted your questions. If not, it's possible for you to send additional questions to Mary Jennings in a private chat, which should be available to you on your chat function. This video is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube, and the site is called LWV, League of Women Voters -WCVA for Washington County, Virginia. So a bunch of letters there, LWV-WCVA. You can look for that on YouTube in the next day or so and find the video of this forum. You can also go to the Washington County, Virginia League of Women Voters Facebook page for more information at any time. And there will be an audio replay of an edited version of this on WEHC FM 90.7 sometime before the election. So tune into 90.7 and pay attention for details of when you might hear that the forum replayed on the radio station. Tonight, we're going to be very casual, a little more than usual. The mics will be muted for the audience. I mentioned that you can text questions to Mary Jennings. We have a maximum time limit for people to answer a question. Each candidate will make a 1-minute opening remark and a 1-minute closing remark. Judith Foster is keeping time for us tonight, just as a way to help us with our editing later. So you guys don't have to worry about time cues or anything like that. So at this point, I'm going to introduce the candidates, and each candidate will make an opening statement after the intro that has been provided by the candidate. So for the mayoral election, we have 2 candidates. The first is Katie Lamb. Katie Lamb is a native of Damascus. After graduating from East Carolina University, she made her way to New York City, where she worked as a graphic designer for many years. Surviving the horrific attacks of 9/11, Lamb decided it was time to come home. So in 2008, she did just that. Using her design skills, Lamb taught advertising design at the Washington County Career and Technical School for 6 years. Katie Lamb is the chief designer and lead administrator for BZ Builders Construction Company and lives in Damascus, her forever heart and home. So Kitty Lamb, your opening statement, please.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event and all of the participants that we have. And I'm just so thrilled that we have so many people that are interested in running for council, even for the special election. I mean, it just really elates my heart that so many people are stepping up and caring about our town. I love Damascus. I feel very strongly about a transparent government, and I feel like that, you know, we have a lot to work towards developing that at the time. And I really look forward to being part of a community and bringing back community to make it a family again, because Damascus is a family and family comes first. And though tourism is very vital to this town, so are our citizens and our residents. And, you know, this is a home and we need to make people feel that way that live here.
Thank you very much, Katie. Now I will introduce Jack McCready, who is also a candidate for mayor. Jack McCready was first elected to the Town Council of Damascus in 1986. He has since held numerous appointed and elected positions in Washington County and Damascus, including the Washington County Board of Supervisors and Damascus Town Council, where he served previously as a council member and currently as mayor. He attends and is a member of the Green Cove Christian Church. Jack is a former Damascus fireman, a member of the Liberty Hall Lodge, a member of United Mine Workers, and he managed Little League Baseball for 7 years. Jack McCready has over 30 years of experience in governmental affairs. Jack and Connie McCready have been married for 47 years with 2 adult children. So Jack McCready, your opening statement, please.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to address the League of Women Voters, and they take the issues that are important to the town of Damascus. I have represented the town of Damascus and successful in returning, when I was on the Board of Supervisors, some $9 million in the town of Damascus. I was instrumental in getting funding for our library, for the acquisition of the old rock school, also for the new Little League fields, Beaver Dam ballparks. It's been a pleasure serving the town of Damascus. Transparency is evident if you look at our websites. We have over a year of minutes from meetings that are posted, and all our special called meetings. And the transparency is, if you don't look through the windshield, you'll be looking at the windshield. It's obvious.
Thank you, Jack. That's your 1 minute is up, but thank you for that. Now we move on to the regular town council election. We have 4 candidates for 3 seats. Susan Coleman. Susan Coleman is first. Susan Coleman, along with her husband John, moved to Damascus last year from the New River Valley, where she helped facilitate the revitalization of a large conference and retreat center. Susan is trained in hospitality, administration, project management, and was a graduate of the New River Valley Leadership Class of 2015. Her hobbies are gardening, biking, hiking, and kayaking, which makes Damascus a perfect forever home for her. She has 3 grown children and 4 grandchildren who live in South Carolina and the Pacific Northwest. So Susan Coleman, your opening statement, please.
Well, thank you, Teresa and Mary and the League of Women Voters. I'm really honored to be here. I feel like I can bring some things to the table for the council. I love this community and this town, and I just want to be able to serve. I think that my greatest asset is just relationship, having a relationship with people. So I'm really excited about this. Thank you.
Thank you. And Beatty Jackson is the next on the ballot for the regular town council spot. Beatty Jackson was born and raised in the South and earned a degree in recreation park administration at Clemson University. He's been working in the recreation business for more than 40 years. Beatty first visited Damascus in 2002. He became a resident in 2015 and has enjoyed being involved as an advocate for the Southeast region of National Parks and Conservation Association for the past 10 years. W. Beatty Jackson is happy to serve and play a bigger part in our community because he believes that the world can be changed for the better when people show up and get involved. So Beatty Jackson, your opening statement.
Well, thank you for having this forum tonight. I do appreciate it. I came to Damascus, like I say, first time in 2002, and there's a magic in this little town. And everybody who comes here wants a piece of that magic. And I finally got here, and I'm happy that this is just the right place to be. And I think this is really an outdoor tourist community, and it's a gateway community to the highlands of Mount Rogers, and I think it's just a great place for us to be. And I think we need to figure out how to get year-round business here and how to keep the business we've got and keep the small town feel.
All right, thank you, Beatty Jackson. And the final candidate who's with us for the general election is Larry Riddle. Larry Riddle was born in 1960 in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. He was raised on military bases until he was 17. He pursued a career in cooking and cooked and managed restaurants. The best trade he ever had and was, and still is, hosting Crazy Larry's Hostel since October 2012. He has done some writing about Damascus. And Larry Riddle, you have a minute for your opening statement.
Thank you, Teresa. You know, I tell you, I came into Damascus back in 2006. I've written a story the year before, but this town grabbed my attention back in 2001 when I was running from things in my life, and I knew I was going to end up here. I've written a lot of stories about people in the area, and I just look forward to writing more stories. But I'll tell you, most of all, I just want to get involved and help. I don't have previous experience in any of this, but when this pandemic hit, I just said, you know, and I need to step up and do something and be accountable here. So I don't know what I can offer the town, but I want to learn. Here I am, you know. But I hope I do a good job if I'm elected. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you, Larry Riddle. So we have met the candidates. We have had opening statements from each of the candidate, and now we're going to move to the questions that have been submitted to the League of Women Voters. The first question that we're going with for tonight is, what do you see as the immediate need right now in Damascus, and what would you do about it? And this questioner says, I don't want to hear your far-reaching pipe dreams. What can you do? What do you want to do now? So I'm pulling a little bit of a switcheroo on the candidates. I think everybody knows it, except I didn't get the message to one candidate. But first of all, I'm just going to open it up and just let whichever mayoral candidate wants to answer that first. So whichever one wants to jump in, Jack McCready or Katie Lamb, jump in and talk about the needs you see now and what you would do about it.
Jack's on mute.
Okay,
yourself,
then
Jack.
maybe Susan, can you go,
Katie.
Katie, can you go ahead then?
There are several things. One of which is a major issue is trash pickup. Another major issue is that we do not have internet and broadband service to all of our residents, and in the county either. That's a major problem right now, especially with virtual learning and virtual jobs. And I mean, this is just imperative that we get broadband service here somehow, some way in town. And, you know, trash pickup is also imperative. That we have a lot of older folks here that certainly cannot haul their own trash. We have trash that's being left here for days because people can't haul it, and that just invites wildlife and insects and things that probably are not beneficial to the town. You know, in a community, I really feel like that we are lacking in a transparent government, and we're lacking in a community, and our people need to know what's going on, when it's going on, and why we're doing what we're doing. And we just need to come together as a community, and I think we've lost that kind of, you know, to some degree.
You didn't introduce
Okay,
me
thank
and
you.
Lindsay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Katie. Now, Jack McCready was gonna, we're gonna see if he has anything to add on that.
Absolutely. We had trash pickup in this town for a number of years, and the town in the mid-90s chose, for whatever reason, I think it was strictly finances, it got so expensive to run a truck and a trash crew, and then the county started raising the dump fees. And so they contracted it out to individual corporations. I think Waste Management was one of the first ones here, and then there was another one, and then it later ended up with Allied Waste Management, who quit earlier this year. And they quit because they only had 48 customers that was paying to pick up the trash, and they could not justify that. So they moved out. We contacted Cox Waste Management, another corporation. We contacted them all the way to Boone, North Carolina, to try to get waste trash pickup for the citizens in town. Now the town could furnish trash pickup if they wanted a massive tax increase to pay for it. Abington's got. Abington charges everybody's real estate taxes, and they furnish the barrels, but it's quite expensive. There's a transfer station less than 2 miles from the town of Damascus, and it's not inconvenient, and there's neighbors will have to help neighbors, but there is a few entrepreneurs that are picking up trash. Now, the issue of where we're at now, of course, COVID has wrecked our economy. We took about a 32% reduction in our budget, our taxable incomes. We will not have a tax increase, regardless of what's being said by my opponent. We are transparent.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you there. That was
Okay.
a minute and 30 seconds. So we've identified trash pickup and broadband and transparent government as the issues that the mayoral candidates have talked about. General Town Council candidates Susan, Beatty Jackson, Larry Riddle, Susan Coleman, do you all want to add to this discussion?
Well, I certainly think that, mentioning on COVID, we don't know really what kind of changes we're going to all have to deal with here. And I thought about that, that's kind of why I got involved and stuff. That kind of prompted me to move ahead and try to be there. But, we got to get ourselves prepared for whatever's coming and accept whatever's coming and adjust to it. I don't really have a clue as to what really needs to be done in this town. Like right now, what is an important issue, I mean, there's no sense of me emphasizing on that one, because really I'm looking at this, I'm just trying to look at things up front. I mean, I got some ideas about things, but right there, I think that would be an important issue that we need to, be a kind of ahead on, is whatever governmental changes and different things like that,
Okay, let's see about Susan Coleman or Beatty Jackson.
I think that the local businesses could use a boost. I think that we could help them out in any way that we can. I think that we need to be creative in thinking of how we can help out our local businesses. I think that if people rally around each other, I know that there's a lot of seniors and there's a lot of retired people here, but I've also seen that there's a lot of community that really wants to help. So a lot of volunteers maybe. I think that we're just going to have to be creative in this COVID year as well. I know that there's a lot of things that we can't do, but I think that there's a few things that we can do as well.
All right, Susan Coleman, and let's see, we need to hear from Beatty Jackson about what needs to be done now.
Well, I would think that our major industry, which is this Virginia Creeper Trail, brings in a lot of folks to the community. And I would think that parking is a major issue on some of these Saturdays and Sundays in the height of our season. This place is just packed and it's crowded. I think parking is an issue. And then I hear from a lot of folks who have businesses here, finding qualified employees is also a problem. And that helps keep the growth from happening here, because people they come into town, but they want to open a business, but there's not that many people here to work. So how do we get folks to come here that can help grow business and grow it year round? And then where do we park them? That's
Okay.
another issue.
Thank you.
Good point.
That was Beatty Jackson, and now we have our two special election candidates. We'll see what they want to add to the topics of what can be done right now. What are the needs and what can be done right now? So in the special election candidates, we have Shannon Barrett and Lindsay Fleming. Lindsay?
Shannon, do you want to? Okay. So I believe that a lot of the improvement that could be brought to Damascus immediately is more community involvement. I've lived here for the last 4 years and feel like I know some of the community and some of the neighbors, but if we could do more, I feel like we're thrive on tourism, and sometimes we get lost creating those weekend or those single serving relationships with tourists that come through and not enough with each other. And if we held more community based events so we got to know each other a little bit better, then that could piggyback on what Jack and Katie were talking about with trash pickup, because up until this year I didn't have a vehicle to where I could haul my own trash off, and now that I do, I would love to know who else needs that help so that I could offer that help on the weekends. And if I knew more and was closer with the community, I feel like that would solve some of those issues. And I also think getting our youth involved and creating a town that they're proud of would help with that as well.
Okay, thank you. And then that leaves Shannon Barrett for the final candidate on this topic. Shannon?
Shannon.
Shannon, are you hearing us? Apparently, he's not hearing us. It doesn't show that he's muted, so I don't know.
Shannon.
Obviously, we're having a little more technical difficulty. So I apologize for that. If we can get back to Shannon, and if, I assume he's hearing us, or I don't know. Okay, well, we'll just move on to the next question, or actually to dig down a little bit, I think, in some of these, the other suggestions, but this one's a little bit different. The topic is marijuana. Since controlled legalization of marijuana is becoming more common, if Virginia allows a store that would sell marijuana, what would be your stance on a store opening in Damascus? And the person who submitted this question said for trail days, it would be a boon and would bring in a lot of tax revenue.
Talking about trash pickup, right? I have trash pickup. Yes, I hear you.
Excuse me, I don't know what's going on here, but let me just go ahead with the marijuana question, and if I get Shannon back again, we'll back up. But anyway, how would you feel about marijuana, a store that sold marijuana in the town of Damascus?
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, let's do this in
Hello.
we'll reverse the order. Shannon, are you hearing us? Okay, I'm going to jump to the middle with the general town council seats, and we're going to start with the middle on the marijuana question on the general town council seats. And I'm just going to call these names. It makes it easier. Larry Riddle.
I'll tell you what, I'm the first to support marijuana legalization all the way. I'll tell you, well, that's one issue that I definitely wanted to tackle to make.
Yes, I hear you.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Shannon. But anyway, yeah, we can hear you. But anyway, I think we need to make Damascus a total free zone on marijuana. You know, I mean, it should have never been illegal in the first darn place, you know. I'll tell you, I don't agree with this darn $25 fine for an ounce or less. That just gives the cops an offer. I mean, they can use that to walk in your house, you know. I mean, it's just let people smoke the darn stuff, man. Nobody's hurting anybody about smoking it, you know. They're having do away with the alcohol, you know.
Okay, thank you, Larry Riddle. Beatty Jackson, what's your answer on that? And hang in there, Shannon. We're going to get to you in a minute. Beatty on the marijuana question.
I think that the states that have legalized it and communities that have embraced it have done tremendous well in the taxes collected alone. But I don't know to what extent that hurts the rest of the community, the other things that are going on besides just tax revenues. So I'd probably just sidestep that question.
Okay. And
Thank
Susan
you.
Coleman?
I pretty much feel the same way. I'm not really sure how I would respond to that. I do see that the other states that have embraced it are doing well, and I think that the taxes would be wonderful. But not really sure that I would like that around the corner from my house.
Okay. Thank you. And let's see, mayor candidates, we'll go up to that. Katie Lamb?
Well, there are pros and cons to absolutely everything. Yes, the tax benefits are great, and the income that the town would be getting because of that would be great. I truly believe that marijuana does provide a medicinal purpose for a lot of folks that have issues and I feel that there is a purpose for that. It is a part of nature and I would hate for us not to embrace something that could be beneficial to the town. However, there would have to be limitations and guidelines, and especially during like trail days and those events, there would just have to be some strict guidelines involved there.
Okay. Thank you, Katie Lamb. Jack McCready? Oh, Jack, you're muted. Oh, here we go again.
Gotcha. Okay.
There we go.
I'm not going to mute anymore. Right now, it's been decriminalized for anything less than an ounce. Being a Dillon rule from the state legislature and the Attorney General's office, we can pass no laws unless the General Assembly passes it down. In their wisdom, should they pass it down that it is a legal product, then and if somebody came to it, we would not be able to deny that business a business license, because if it's legal via the state laws and the federal laws, it's legal by our laws. We cannot supersede the state. So it's not even a question. If somebody wanted one in town and the legislature passed that it was legal to have a head house, we're going to have a head house.
Thank you, Jack. Now we're down to the Damascus special election. Let me start with Lindsay, and then I can maybe catch up with Shannon if we can hear him. Lindsay, let's let you address the marijuana store question.
Yeah, I don't particularly have an issue with having something like that in town as well. I believe it would be a great revenue stream for the town. And I think that, like Katie said, there would have to be some rules and regulations and stuff like that to follow. But like Jack said, it would depend on the legislation. So.
Okay. Let's see if we can get Shannon now. Shannon, can you hear us? And are you able to answer the question about how you'd feel about a store that sold marijuana in Damascus? Not getting a response from Shannon Barrett. I'm so sorry about these technical difficulties. It appears that his screen is frozen. Shannon, you want to try again? No, sorry, I'm not getting anything. I'm so sorry about that. So I think we got everybody on the question of marijuana except for Shannon Barrett in the special election. I want to dig down a little bit deeper into this transparency question because it's been mentioned a couple of times. Not sure exactly.
Can you hear me?
I don't know where that noise is coming from. If that's you, Shannon, we can't hear you. It's a kind of a technical glitch or something. So I'm going to, let's see, I wanted to move on to the transparency question about letting people know what's going on. I'm not sure where that question has come from, but
Hello?
Somebody else mentioned
Test.
Somebody had mentioned that there was a rumor that land was donated to the Boy Scouts. and they weren't sure whether that had happened. There was mention of the town website, that for a while, the town roster wasn't listed, the town council names weren't there, the minutes weren't there. I think we heard Jack McCready say that they are there now. But as we understand it, there's a new website now, but let's just run through, and we'll start this time at the bottom with the special election candidates, and I guess we'll start with Lindsay. What is your take on this question about whether the government is transparent and what needs to be done about that?
I definitely also agree with Katie that there should be a transparency to our local government. It should be easy to find answers and questions, answers to the questions that we have regarding things and happenings that are going on in town. I know that when trying to brush up and learn more about the town, I couldn't access the minutes online as late as last month, and had to reach out and have those personally emailed to me, and updates on the trail center and things of that nature. I couldn't find any of that information online, so I had to contact town hall directly. So
okay, thank you, and for that elaboration. And I'm going to try one more time on Shannon. Shannon, can you hear that question about transparency? It looks like he's trying to talk, but we're just not hearing him.
Yes, I
So
can hear
sorry.
your question.
Yeah, Shannon, I'm sorry. It's just something about your signal is just not coming through. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's go back to the transparency question with the general town council candidates. I'll just start from the bottom. Larry Riddle.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know what people see here, but I see a pretty transparent government already here. I mean, that down there where the Boy Scout thing was, I think that's been discussed at length for quite a while. You know, so I don't know, you know, I really don't have anything to add to that other than that. I just, you know, I didn't hear all the question that you wanted me to answer. If you could just briefly ask me that question again, Teresa, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it was just a question about what do you see as an issue about transparency, if you see something. And
I don't see anything at all. I think, I don't know, you know, I've been attending some meetings and I go every now and then. I kind of keep up with things now, you know, since I decided I was going to do this. And, but for a while I've been keeping up with things, you know, and I've been hearing about things and stuff. But you know, I don't pay attention to what a lot of other people pay attention. Everybody's got their own viewpoint on this one, you know, so, you know, I just because I see it one way and somebody else sees it another way doesn't make I'm right, you know, and stuff.
Okay.
I just in my opinion, I see a transparent government.
Thank you, Larry. Beatty Jackson.
I sort of feel like that government is as transparent as you really want it to be.
Yep.
And I think the folks who complain about it not being transparent sometimes don't really get totally involved. I mean, I've been to council meeting and you don't have a whole lot of participation from the citizenry to show up for council meeting. And it's not on a Wednesday, it's a church night. So, you know, if people don't want to be involved and they don't want to know what's going on, they're not going to know what's going on. And I think that it's up to the citizens here to get involved and to make the government as transparent as they want it. That's how I feel about it.
That's right, I agree.
Susan Coleman.
I think that the government should be transparent. I think there should be a lot more transparency in the town, in the minutes, in the council, in the discussions. I think that there should also be, even if they're temporary signs posted on construction sites, like this is what we're planning to do. If you have any questions, you can call us. But I think that once people see like what's going to happen to the park that's down by the old mill, I would love to see a drawing or an example of this is what it could look like, so that the community can be really excited about it. I mean, if there was something that was happening down at the land where the Boy Scouts are planning to use or not planning to use, See, we don't even know. I think if there was a sign down there that said, this is the potential site of, and this is what it might look like, I think that a lot of the community would be really excited. Or if they had questions, that they could go to somebody in the town and ask.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, where am I now? That was Lindsay. No, wait, that was Susan. Okay, so we finished the general seats, and now the mayor candidates to talk about the issue of transparency. Katie Lamb.
I'd say that's my biggest issue, and one of the main reasons that I'm running for mayor is that I feel, and I have been to many town council meetings, I have been to many management team meetings, which are the meetings that the town manager holds with residents of the town to discuss revitalization, which, eventually I quit going to that. I felt like my voice wasn't being heard. There are a lot of things that the town is doing, and I know personally that they're doing that no townspeople know about, the residents don't know about. I mean, just 2 years ago, the town bought a piece of property up by the VFW for $53,000, and I don't think just about everybody I speak to in town has no idea that the town purchased that property and why. I still, 2 years later, there's still being nothing done with it. There is a major, in my opinion, in my heartfelt opinion, a major problem with a lack of transparency in our local government.
All right, thank you, Katie Lamb and Jack McCready. Your comments about transparency.
Like I was saying earlier, if you want to look at the bug on the windshield without looking through the windshield, you'll see the bug. We have posted our meetings online, at the front door. Our meetings are highly advertised. Our website went down roughly a month ago, and they had to get a whole new system in, and it's back up and running. And most people, if they had the trouble, had a question, they could easily call the town hall. It'd been emailed to them. Transparency is a word, but if you need transparency, you need to come and check out what transparency is. Now, the land issue, the Boy Scouts, no land has been transferred to the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts was moved over there because of the development on the river walk that's going to come around, and that's where they were normally staying beside the, hello? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good, Jack.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Katie Lamb tried to stop the purchase of the town 53 acres or 23 acres or 25 acres at the VFW for her own personal use. She also wanted the land behind her house for her personal use. And she got into and she personally told me this, that Mr. Fred Leonard encouraged her to run for town council or for mayor. And so you can take whatever it is and her heartfelt thoughts of land use. This council has done everything it can do. We've even done a Zoom meetings because of COVID.
We're going to have to stop you there,
I
Jack.
would certainly take.
Jack, I'm sorry. I have to stop you there. Your time is up on that question. We've been talking about participation and who knows what and how aware people are of what's going on. Let's go down the list. And for non-incumbents, how many council meetings have you attended in the last 2 years? So we'll start with Katie.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, for the non-incumbents, how many council meetings have you attended in the past 2 years?
The past 2 years, I have, that's interesting. I have probably attended 3/4 of those meetings in the past 2 years.
That's not true.
Hey, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't make it clear. There are going to be no comments during other people's time. Go ahead, Katie. You can say what you want.
I especially, there's a little bit of misinformation given previously there. I am in no way does Fred Leonard, encouraging me to run for council. For mayor. I'm running for mayor because I give a crap about this town. I love this town and I do not like where it's going. There is no transparent government. And as you can see, I'm disappointed once again, and this is why I'm running for mayor. There is a disappointment almost every day coming from government officials in this town, and we need change. We need change, and we need change now.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
The other incumbents, non-incumbents, let's see. So in General Town Council, I believe that that's everybody, right? Susan Coleman?
Since April, I've been to all of the council meetings and even the special council meetings. We just moved here last year, so I haven't had a whole lot of time. Well, once I decided that I wanted to be a part of the community, I attended all of the council meetings.
Okay, thank you. Beatty Jackson?
I think I've attended 4 or 5.
Okay, Larry Riddle? Oh, wait, hang on just a second here, Larry.
All
Larry, how
right.
many town council meetings have you attended?
I don't know. I'm down there pretty much. I mean, I last year probably 2 or 3, and this year I think I've been paying attention since about February or March. You know, yeah, I mean, especially after I decided I was going to run for council, I wanted to start keeping up with what's going on. You know, I want to know. I don't want to just jump in the frying pan. I want to get an idea what's up. You know, so that's, I've been talking to town people and everything. Mary Jennings sent me some links to the you know, the county thing. And yesterday I began reading on county code, you know, different stuff. I just want to learn, you know. So I've been attending.
Okay, thank you. And so for the special election, Shannon, is there any chance that we've got Shannon?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank goodness, Shannon.
Thank you.
So we're just asking the non-incumbents, how many meetings have you attended of the town council?
I am on the town council now as of June. And so I've attended 3 since June, and the majority of the town council meetings in 2019.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the Vote 411 information. It says that you're not an incumbent.
Special appointed.
Okay, I'm sorry, wasn't aware of that. Let's see, Lindsay Fleming about participation in the meetings.
Yeah, previous to having interest in running for the town council, I hadn't been to any of the meetings, and with my work schedule, I wasn't able to attend the last couple of meetings. I tried via Zoom, and they were having technical difficulties the last time, so I was never able to join the meeting. But I have received and read all of the minutes for all the town council meetings since December of 2019.
Okay, thank you. I hope that everybody will be okay with this. I want to take a minute and let Shannon have a chance to answer some of the questions that he couldn't get to because of his technical issues. Just very briefly, Shannon, one of the first questions that we had was, what do you see the community needs right now that something could be done about, and what would you do?
Advertising to beat Abington to the Creeper Trail. I think we need more advertising dollars spent wisely.
All right, the other question that we had asked was, if marijuana was legalized in the state of Virginia, what would be your stance on having a store open in Damascus that would sell marijuana?
Well, I think this area has 10 churches in the town of Damascus, and I just think marijuana has a place in town.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood you correctly. Did you say you do believe it has a place, or you do not?
No, I do not.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was clear on that. And you have some more time if you want to add anything to that. The next question that you didn't get a chance to answer was about transparency. Do you think there's an issue with transparency with the town council, and what should be done about it?
No, I don't think transparency is a problem. It sounds like everybody here is able to get the minutes that the town council members are given each month. So if you want to know about what's going on, just get the minutes and read those.
All right, and let's see, Shannon, I don't believe that I got a chance to ask you about how many meetings. Oh yeah, well, that was exactly, you did say that, sorry. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where we are now. The next question, and I have one question that's come in from the audience members tonight, and I think I'll just jump to that question now. What are your plans to welcome the Appalachian Trail Center to town? And let me just start at the top and go down, and remember that you have a minute and a half if you want to address another topic during that time. You can use your time however you want, but you have a minute and a half. So plans on welcoming the Appalachian Trail. Jack McCready?
Yes, we're in partnership with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Part of the reason this installation was sought after so highly, we have about a 3 or 4 month period in the winter that our businesses just get killed. They do good the rest of the time, but during that winter period, our tourism really slacks off. This will bring visitors to the town that are in training classes. This will bring visitors to the town. Hello?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
Okay. And it'll give a chance for Damascus to be showed off all up and down the trail. Of course, most trail hikers, Indian hikers, they know what Damascus is about, and that it is the friendliest town on the trail. But the ideal of the Appalachian Trail, we're going to have a big grand opening. It'll be staffed, and hopefully it'll bring a few jobs to town also. That'll be full-time jobs or part-time jobs. But anyway, it will bring a few jobs to town. So that's the plan as it stands now.
All right, thank you. And Katie Lamb, what would you say about welcoming the Appalachian Trail Center?
Well, I'm very excited about the Appalachian Trail Center coming here. I do think it's going to be an asset to the hikers. I don't know about jobs, especially for the first few years. It's a volunteer basis, you know, based on residents of the town that are willing to volunteer their time. I don't know of any full-time positions that are available during that for that position at the ATC. I welcome it with open arms. I wish that the town had not concreted the sidewalk there in front of the ATC, because I think that would have been a prime opportunity to sell some personalized bricks that a lot of people visiting the ATC would have purchased and would have paid for the sidewalk in doing so. I really truly feel that could have been a memorable thing for a lot of folks visiting the ATC, and something that they would come back to visit years after year and send their, you know, grandchildren to visit. I love that, you know, that we are moving forward with the ATC. It seems a little slow. I know these things take time, but I'm looking forward to it being up and running. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good all around.
Great, thank you. Welcoming the ATC and the general counsel candidates, Susan Coleman.
I am really excited about the ATC being built in town. I just can't wait for it to be finished and see how everything turns out. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good thing.
All right. Beatty Jackson.
I don't see how it can hurt us in any way. I mean, we already have 2,000 people coming through town during that time frame of early spring and into the summer. And I think if we can slow them down and create a speed bump and turn them up and shake them for loose change, we got to lose.
Maybe we need a sign on the town limits, prepare to be turned upside down and shaken.
Well, somebody said, you know, do we have to wear a mask when we come into a particular business where I work part-time? And I said, no, but you better bring your wallet.
There you go. Larry Riddle, welcoming the ATC.
Well, I'll tell you what, I came through here first in 2001, and I came on the trail, and I came through in 2005 looking for work, and I got back here in 2006. I'm all about the Appalachian Trail and the Conservancy. I'll tell you what, I've been involved with the webinars this year. during the COVID lockdown and been a voice within the community on the Facebook groups, trying to reason with people. You know, a lot of people got upset. I'll tell you, I look forward to this ATC center. I'd like to see them, you know, do some workshops and stuff. I'd like to get involved with that. You know, I mean, nature walks, whatever. Let's get some things going. You know, I mean, and through the ATC, we'll be able to do more of that, I believe. So.
Okay. Shannon Barrett of the Special Election Group.
Yes, Terry. Yes, I think it'll be a welcome addition, and I'm excited to see it as a new tourism. It brings people in to the town during the off season, and something else that'll be really a good addition to that is in the fall when you're hiking the ridge up towards Tennessee, you can actually see the building from the trail.
Okay. I got everybody on that question about welcoming the ATC, I hope. And I want to move on to a question about taxes. A couple of the voters who contacted us in advance mentioned the fact that Damascus has the highest tax rate of all the areas in the county, or I guess all of the other localities in the county. And there have been discussions and questions about trash pickup, about Wi-Fi, those kinds of issues. Given the rate of high taxes already, are there more services that you think are mandatory that would be worth raising taxes for? For example, how do you feel about trash pickup? How do you feel about more changes to the curbs and sidewalks? What is your overall view of raising taxes depending on what you see as the major issues? And I'm just going to kind of start at the top and then go to the bottom and back to the middle. Let's start with Jack McCready.
Okay, the taxes, we do have one of the highest real estate taxes, but we don't have fast food in this town like Abington does. I think Abington's taxes were raised to 32 cents or whatever it is. Ours are running 46 cents. They've been that for as long as I can remember. I know we reduced them once many years ago, but there's been the only tax increases in the town of Damascus was a 5-cent add-on to the cigarette tax. And then there was a 4 cents or so with the personal property taxes that was highly encouraged, and we had no choice but to do it at the urging of the county because we don't send out our own. They mail our tax receipts for us. The only thing, if I would like to see a referendum, if people are really interested in trash pickup, if they would be willing to have a tax increase for it. I say no. I don't think it's a big issue. It's most likely, like a lot of other issues that's brought up during the political season, it's rhetoric to cause issues and hard feelings, and it's just not a life or death thing. But I'm not for raising taxes. If they want to put it on a referendum and vote it in, then I would go along with that. But otherwise, no. And the transparency issue.
I'm sorry, Jack, you didn't have to try to get that on the next time. That was a minute.
Will do. Thank you.
Katie Lamb on the tax issue.
Of course, I wouldn't like to raise taxes. Maybe we could implement a program where citizens and residents pay for their trash pickup, and it's not included in a tax, increased basis. I feel that there are a lot of things that are not actually being, portrayed as truth, to be honest. And that is one thing that I would find key to provide for our citizens and our residents. Trash pickup is important. There, Wi-Fi is important. Raising our taxes, is not an option. But why are we buying a piece of property outside of town for $53,000? Is that taxpayers' money? I mean, where's that money coming from? Like, you know, you residents should be asking that question. Citizens should be asking that question. What is the purpose of that? And what are we doing with that property?
Okay, thank you. High tax rates on the general town council seats. Let's start with, let's see, Larry Riddle. Larry?
Oh, yeah, number one, I'm against the taxes for sure, raising the taxes. Right now, we got some dilemmas going on here, man. You know, and I think I support, you know, what Katie was saying about residential, you know, residents paying the town for trash pickup and stuff like that with individuals. You know, we're going to all have to become, I mean, we got to be here for each other, but at the same time, we got to get a little bit accustomed to standing on our own feet a little bit for what's ahead of us. You know, I mean, budgets are going to get cut. All kinds of things are going to happen if this COVID crap keeps on going on, you know, and so, you know, right now, I think, you know, we can address the trash pickup through the residents paying for that if they want that, or, you know, I mean, I got a dumpster and it doesn't cost me that much a month, and I got 2 or 3 people sharing that dumpster with me, you know, you could, a neighborhood dumpster program or something, you know, so I support something like that. But as far as restructuring, I mean, I'd like to see them sidewalk, I'd like to see them gutter, I mean, them curbs they did totally redone. I mean, it's unfortunate that happened. So other than that, I don't know. I mean, no tax raise. Heck, not right now, not until we get into see what's going on with the budget next year. Let's figure it out and see if we do need to raise a tax or something on something. But let's figure it out first, you know.
Okay, thank you. Beatty Jackson, high taxes.
Universally, nobody wants to pay taxes. Universally, nobody wants to raise taxes. Cities never lower taxes. One of the issues that I would see is it's a 2-pronged issue. Number one, how do you get more tax revenue? We get a portion of the state sales tax. How do we get more business here to generate more sales tax? So we get a bigger piece of that. And then the other issue is, how are we spending the money? Are we spending it wisely? And, you know, that's just, you got to be a little conservative, but you've also got to be a little liberal too. It's a real balancing act.
Okay, thank you very much. And Susan Coleman, the tax issue.
No, I don't agree with raising the taxes, at least not for now. I think that we're struggling as it is. I think no.
All right, special election candidates, Lindsay.
No, I would say that we should not raise the taxes. I think to piggyback off of what Beatty was saying, we need to be a little smarter about how we're spending the money and the revenue that we already have, and spending time and effort into figuring out how to add additional revenue streams and getting businesses in Damascus to come to Damascus and stay in Damascus.
Okay, thank you. And Shannon?
Yes, ma'am. No, as far as no raising any taxes. But there's a problem with everybody's got with the garbage pickup. I've got garbage pickup from a company called Stanley, and they charge me $18 a month. So I don't, maybe we need to look in on that, get the word out for this tax, that you don't need to raise taxes for this. We do have available garbage pickup.
Okay, we're fast coming toward the end. We had said 8:30 would be the limit. I'm just going to open this one up, and I'll start in the middle and then go down and up, just kind of picking names the way I had been doing before, but in a different order. But I would think that the people who are listening would just like to hear you say, why you? Why are you the better person from your opponents for this position that you're seeking? And after that, we will have closing statements. So I realize that there might be some overlap, but I think that those would be interesting ways to conclude these questions. So starting in the middle at the top, for General Town Council candidates, 4 candidates for 3 seats. We have with us Susan Coleman, Beatty Jackson, Larry Riddle, also on the ballot, Tommy Hayes, an incumbent. So Susan Coleman, why you?
Well, I think that I know that I absolutely love this community and this town. I think that I could help in any way that I can. I want to serve. I just think that I can bring a few things to the table that maybe haven't been thought of before. I'm really excited about this. I think that I could just do a really good job.
Okay. Beatty Jackson, why you?
You know, it's, you get to a certain point in your life and you realize that you've got to give back. You just can't be a taker all the time, and you've got to give back. And I've been in the outdoor recreation business for pretty much all my adult life. And, you know, I've chosen this community because I feel like this is an outdoor community. It's a place that I want to be. And I mean, I'm portable. I can take my job anywhere I want to take it, but this is the community which I've chosen. And I don't want to be the guy who's always standing around complaining and not offering any suggestions or offering any way to make changes. Change happens for those who care and those who will show up. And I'm willing to show up, and I'm willing to throw my effort into making the community better.
Larry Riddle, why you?
Well, number one, this life is not about me, and I don't think I'm better than any of these other candidates. I would hope that these candidates look at me as an equal and stuff. But, you know, really in my mind's eye, I kind of keep myself kind of lower than others because, you know, my life is not about me, and that's how I want to put that. And that's just, but I think I can bring some ideas. I mean, I got some creativity to me too. You know, I just don't know what I got inside of me. My passion is to, I love this town. Golly, I'll tell you, there ain't not a one of us on this thing that don't love our town. And you know, I you know, whether I get elected or not, I want to. I mean, now I want to do it. I mean, there was a point there I was thinking about backing out, but you know, I just want to be an equal. I ain't looking at anybody better than that, or their ideas are less than, or whatever. You know, I'm like with Mr. with Beatty there. You know, he said we come up on working on solutions and you know helping our town out, and that's about it. That's about all I got to say. I'm gonna start rambling, and you'll shut me off anyways.
Well, you still had you had about 15 more seconds. But we will,
yeah, that's okay. That's enough. I was losing track of mine anyway. I ain't even smoked none today. That's what my problem is. I need to smoke.
Jack McCready, why you?
I've represented people most of my life. When I was an underground coal miner, I was president of a local many years. I was a professional lobbyist for United Mine Workers in Washington, D.C., and also for the state of Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, and Alabama. I've had numerous appointments to county boards over the years. I've been mayor for some 16 years. I've been on the board of supervisors for 4 years. I love this town, as everybody knows, that we all do. But I've tried to serve up front. There've been no secret meetings, as people are saying, and there's been transparency as best as we can do it. Transparency's there if you want it. Ask for it. Nobody's being force-fed here. But I think that my experience, and we're going to be facing a terribly tough year next year. Starting up trail days if COVID goes away, and then all the other things, the parks and the pool and all of that. The experience is going to be much needed. Katie doesn't have that.
Okay, and Katie, your thoughts?
I may not have political experience, and I may not have experience being the mayor, but I have experience of being a kind person. I have experience of being an honest person. I have experience of being a leader. You know, I'd like to set the record straight in the fact that no, I would never shut the town down in acquiring property or anything else that would benefit the town. Actually, my partner and I tried to acquire that piece of property before the town ever did. You know, I love Damascus. I am not a politician. Honestly, I don't even care for meetings, but I love this town. I love the people in this town. I feel very passionate about it. And the town is lacking in a community and a family. And to me, this town is a family, and family comes first.
Thank you. And Lindsay Fleming, why you?
I decided to run for town council because I genuinely care about the town and all of the people in the town. I feel like our interests should be represented, and our voices, no matter how small, should be heard. I think that I want to live and serve in a community where we work collectively and to build a better Damascus. And I say we need to work together and help our town thrive once again. And the needs of our friends and our neighbors without harming everything that makes our town special.
Okay, thank you. And then Shannon Barrett.
Yes, ma'am. Why do I want to be on the town council? There's a real need in this town for organization and motivation. I'm already serving Damascus and have been since we moved here 8 years ago on various committees. I am serving right now on volunteer basis of 9 different committees here in town now, including Trail Days Committee, Senior Citizens Committee, the place. I'm on the board of the place, and I can just help with motivation, with bringing motivation and organization to this town. Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you. I have overlooked a question that came in actually early, and I'm going to ask this question and just go around and just have everybody answer just as quickly as you can. What is your position on granting variances that allow transient housing in residential areas? Not referring to bed and breakfast where the owner resides there, but houses that are purchased exclusively to be rented to tourists as a source of income in that area that is zoned residential. So do you support variances that allow that kind of housing? I'm gonna start at the top. Katie Lamb.
As far as variances are concerned in a residential area, most of downtown Damascus is commercial. The town tried to change that a couple of years ago, but the town citizens retaliated and thus were able to keep their commercial status. You know, I feel very strongly about business people having a say and being able to maybe have some input and who is being voted for mayor and who's being on the council. But, you know, at the same time, maybe those people need to have a permanent residence here. Maybe if they're having a B&B, maybe their permanent resident should be at the B&B. So that the money that they're generating is not going to North Carolina or Tennessee or Florida or wherever it is that they might be delegating, you know, this property from. You know, we need to keep our funds in Damascus and we need to support each other. And, you know, again, we need to be a community and a family.
Thank you, Katie. Jack McCready, variances.
Variances must always be on a case-by-case issue, individually reviewed. But R1, residential 1, is protection for strictly the single-family homes and that sort of thing. I haven't been on the planning commission for the town, but I wouldn't, I would be hard pressed to allow variances for in a residential. There's plenty of other spaces around in town that would be feasible for that. But we certainly don't want to damage the retail value of homes in R1.
Thank you, Jack McCready. And Susan Coleman, your position on variances for transient housing.
I'm not really sure I understand the question. Could you ask it again?
Yes, it's, would you grant variances that allow transient housing on residential areas? I assume this is a zoning thing. Would you allow people, not the bed and breakfast where the owner lives there, but houses that are purchased to be rented to tourists as a source of income for the owner in an area that is zoned residential?
Yes, I would. I think I would.
Okay, Beatty Jackson.
Phew, boy, variances can get to be a real slippery slope.
Right.
It can kind of get out of hand if you're not careful. I think it, again, would have to be case by case. I think you'd have to look at it, but I think they have to meet all, if it's going to be, you're going to have to meet all the regulations. I mean, it's going to have to have all the health and sanitation. It's going to have parking. Again, parking is an issue across town, and you can't just have somebody, 3 families come in or in the house and park all over the streets. It's just not going to happen. So I think it could be case by case, but I think it's a very slippery slope.
Okay, thank you, Beatty Jackson. Larry Riddle, your position on those variances for transient housing.
Well, I'm certainly not against anybody making some extra income for yourself. You know, like Jack and you know, I mean, I don't understand the complete definition of variance. I just kind of looked it up myself, being a writer. I mean, you'd think I'd know right off the bat, but I don't get it, you know, a lot of times. But, you know, Beatty was talking about, just to emphasize more on what he was saying, make sure everything's contained and you can do, I mean, they can do whatever they want. Now, I'll tell you what, talking about this now, we got Airbnb up in here. All right. Now I don't know who's doing what in town where those Airbnb houses are, but as far as I know, they're paying. I mean, Airbnb pays a state tax. The state, you know, retail tax on that and bed and breakfast, but they don't pay the town. And as far as I know, I think anybody that's got any kind of Airbnb or anything in this town, they need to have a town license and pay that, you know. So other than that, that's my opinion. I hope that was a good enough answer.
Okay, thank you. Shannon Barrett on variances.
I believe case by case, owners should have someone local to oversee the rentals. I don't understand how the tax is set up on Airbnb, because I'm not well aware of how that operates, but we're kept up with pretty closely on our B&B taxes to the city and the state. So the variances, I believe that just would go case by case. And the planning commission would be the answers to what everybody's got questions on.
Okay, thank you. And then Lindsay will wrap it up on the variance question.
I agree. It should be a case by case basis. I feel like Beatty said, it's a slippery slope, and just opening it up and allowing it could damage actually having solid community, because you would have more tourism than you would actually community members. So.
Okay, thank you. And I have just realized, you know, I give myself one major mistake every day. And I think maybe the biggest one I've made so far today is that I didn't do the intros to Shannon and Lindsay. Is that correct? So
That's correct.
And you guys didn't scream at me, for heaven's sakes. I wish you had. But what I'm going to try to do.
You were on a roll.
Well, I do sincerely apologize, but what I'm going to do is read your intro and then give you a little extra time for your closing statement so that you can add what you wanted to add in your opening statement. How about 2 minutes for Shannon and Lindsay, okay? So we'll start with the closing statement with Shannon Barrett. Shannon is one of 6 candidates for the 1 seat open in the special election. Lindsay Fleming will answer next. Also on the ballot, but not with us tonight, Tony Doss, Charles Fields, Jim Harrison, and Whitney Peters. Shannon Barrett, his wife Melissa, and son Connor chose Damascus as their forever home in 2013 when they purchased the Dancing Bear B&B. Last year, they sold the Dancing Bear and moved around the corner to what is now the Barrett House Riverside Lodge. Shannon has been active in the community as a volunteer, serves on numerous committees, and is a faithful worker in the church. Shannon and his family take full advantage of and appreciate all the recreational opportunities in the Damascus area. He is currently serving on the town council. So Shannon, you've got 2 minutes to open and close.
Thank you. My family and I looked at several places to live near the Appalachian Trail. We chose Damascus for our forever home. My love for Damascus is evident from my involvement and willingness to serve others. Thank you. I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Shannon. And Lindsay Fleming. Lindsay has been a resident of Damascus since 2016. She lived, worked, and studied in Charlotte, North Carolina for 6 years before moving to Damascus to be closer to family. She works as a merchandising administrative assistant at the Food City corporate offices. Lindsay is a loving aunt to a niece and a nephew. Lindsay, take 2 minutes if you like.
Thank you, Teresa. And thanks to the League of Women Voters for holding this forum. It was very educational, and I appreciate the time to answer the questions that the community asks. I really just am so proud to live here in Damascus and have the opportunity to serve the community, and I look forward to doing that regardless of if I get voted into the town council or not.
Thank you, Lindsay. And the general town council, 4 candidates for 3 seats. We have Susan Coleman, Beatty Jackson, and Larry Riddle. Also on the ballot, Tommy Hayes, an incumbent. And so there's supposed to be a 1 minute time slot for closing statements. So let's start with Larry Riddle.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope I get elected. I really want to get in there and find out, but I done decided if I don't, I'm going to be in there finding out anyway, you know, being involved, get some more involved and hanging out and doing things. And I'll be utilized someplace. They'll find something for me to do. And, but you know, like everybody else has emphasized, we care about our town tremendously, and I care about the citizens here. I've been trying to do my best to help others since I've been here, and I want to continue to help others. You know, I love to give, man. I tell you, I was such a taker in my life at one time, and man, I worked hard at turning those things around. You know, I just so I look forward to more of that, and just being a service where I'm available, where I can be available. Unfortunately, I got some health issues going on, but I'll tell you what, if I can do it from a chair, or I can do it standing up, I don't know whichever way I'm going to go out of this world, but you know, I still got a lot of life left in me, and I want to be a part of this community and benefit.
Thank you very much, Larry Riddle. And
I you threw your hand up on me.
yeah, well, this was 5 seconds.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. That's just one of my smaller mistakes.
Yeah, no problem. I get the message.
Okay, Beatty Jackson, your closing statement.
You know, we live in a time where people are divided, and it's very negative. And you know, my travels take me from Key West, Florida to Caribou, Maine, And there's nothing like coming here to come home. And I believe this town, my little slogan is the future's bright. And I really believe that. And I believe that there's a lot of good in this community, and we've got to tap that. We've got to bring out the good. We've got to lead. We've got to lead in small communities. We've got to do things that make this the magic in the bottle, the lightning in the bottle. Everybody seems to think that there's something magical about this town. And we've got to build on that magic, and we've got to build it together. And we've got to be very positive, and we've got to look to the future.
Thank you very much, Beatty Jackson and Susan Coleman.
Well, since my husband and I have moved to Damascus, I have been completely impressed with the friendliness of the people who have welcomed us. They say it's the friendliest town on the trail. Well, it's very true. At the beginning of the year, I was laid up because of a broken ankle, and I was completely overwhelmed by the community that surrounded us with love, food, help, medical equipment, and definitely their prayers. I was truly overwhelmed to see that much compassion in this small town. But now I see how easy it is to love this town and its people, and I want to be able to give back to this town, to this community, in a role by serving as best as I can in any way that I can.
Thank you, Susan Coleman. And then final statements, concluding statements from our two mayoral candidates, Jack McCready and Katie Lamb. We'll start with you, Jack.
Yeah, the time that we're facing, of course, a lot of unknowns involve our future, but it's time for sound decisions, and decisions are based on experience. I have paid my own and always have campaign. I've taken no money from anyone, and I never will. But I'm for the citizens of Damascus. That seems like we talk business a lot, but the citizens of Damascus are, and there's only about 790 of us now, full-time citizens. So our population is decreasing. I owe no out-of-state developer anything, and decisions I make will be for the betterment of the town. And coming up soon, there's going to be some hard decisions. I know COVID and all of that, but the 20 some odd acres, we're looking at some different things. There's some options.
I'm sorry, Jack.
One of them is a solar panel farm.
That's time is up. I'm so sorry. And we finish with a final 1-minute statement from Katie Lamb. Katie, you're muted. Let's see. Let me click that little button right there and see if anything happens. There we go.
There we go.
Sorry, Katie. Your closing statement of a minute.
I just want to thank the League of Women Voters again for hosting this event, and thanking everyone for participating, and all of our citizens for chiming in and watching and seeing and participating. I'm excited about how many council folks that we have that are interested in helping this town. We do need help, and you know, I love Damascus, and I want what is best for Damascus, and I hope that you'll vote for me and that we can do this together, because we are a community, we are a family, and family comes first.
All right. Now, did I miss anybody on the closing statements? All right. I hope that I didn't make other horrible mistakes and overlook anybody in any of those questions, but this concludes the forum for tonight. We're so grateful to those of you who participated, who went to the vote411.org website and filled out those questions to help voters get to know you. Political participation is not for the faint of heart. It takes time and it takes energy, and those in the audience who showed up because you care about your town and wanted to participate, we're very, very grateful for you. You're an example to us all. Thanks to Mary Jennings and the Washington County, Virginia League of Women Voters for organizing this event. Remember that the video will be posted on YouTube. When you look for it on YouTube, you're going to look for LWV-WCVA. And if you listen to WEXC 90.7, there will be details coming up in the next couple of weeks about when you can hear a replay of this. We'll have to edit it some for time. I especially want to thank Roseanne Jenny for the technical expertise that she and her husband provided for this. It's hard to get everything just right, but all things considered, we managed this very well and got to hear from the candidates. And so thanks again to Roseanne Jenny for that. And finally, we hope that you'll be at the polls on November the 3rd, or vote early. Early voting is open, or that you have your absentee ballot, but that you have a plan to vote for the November the 3rd election. Thank you all once again, and good night.